Hello everyone, welcome to the Cube Vlog. This is Aaron, this is the second episode, and I wanted to go over a couple of the changes. I know it's only been about a week, maybe a week and a half since the last vlog, but seeing how Shadows over Innistrad is going to be coming out soon. I made a bunch of changes to the cubes. Most of the cubes have been changed, have had changes since the last vlog. And I thought I'd go over a bunch of updates, and maybe even want to do a little review of Pucatrade because I've been using that quite a bit, and I've heard some varying thoughts on it. So I thought it would be a cool little thing to talk about. So first of all, let's go over the changes. I made some. I was talking about the last episode that I wanted to make some changes to the Power Popper Cube for Oath of the Gatewatch, and I made 3 little changes. Is this oath? No, that's not. So okay, so this is not the only Battle for Zendikar change I made. I made it an initial update, but I accidentally erased it like a lot of the posts I made. So unfortunately, you can't follow what I did. But I'm gonna try to do my best to not hit the X there. I've done it a couple of times by accident. So what I did was I did 3 little changes. I took out Kevu Primarch for Saddleback Lagak. I'll tell you why in a second. Ethereal Armor for Shoulder to Shoulder, and Volcanic Hammer for Goblin Freerunner. Now, I haven't had a chance to really play this set, the Oath of the Gatewatch, although that really has no bearing on the cube. So these cards interacting in Oath of the Gatewatch will probably be different in the Power Popper Cube. I took out Kevu Primarch and I put in Saddleback Lagak. Now Saddleback Lagak is a card that goes into a more aggressive build. And I think that there's 2 more changes I do want to make to green, which is there's 2 one drops, 2 power 1 drops. One's Jungle Lion and one is Nettle Sentinel, and I think I'm going to put them in because that'll give green a more aggro edge, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to do before, but now I'm thinking I should. Anyways, Saddleback Lagak fits into the green-white archetype, and Kevu Primarch, yeah, it's a big beater, but it doesn't have any evasion, so no trample or anything. So even if you get him out, I feel like he's not really worth it. Whereas there's the other Convoke guy, which is Siege Worm. Yeah, Siege Worm, he has trample, so I feel he's good. Ethereal Armor was actually an accident, it shouldn't be in the cube anymore. It's a remnant from the Hexproof era. So I took that out because there are still enchantments, like a lot of the O-ring type enchantments, Journey Nowhere, Arrest, yada yada yada, Face Fetters. And I put in Shoulder to Shoulder, same idea as the Saddleback Lagak. You know, you draw yourself a card and you basically bump up your guys a little more. It's kind of like what's the card? What's the one with flashback? Travel Preps. Yeah, it's basically a poor man's Travel Preps, but starting in white. But you get to draw a card. So I thought I'd try it out. It's not solidified. I haven't played with it yet. So Volcanic Hammer, I took it out for Goblin Freerunner. Now the reason why I took out Volcanic Hammer was because I wanted to make the red section a little less burn oriented and more creature oriented. Red's pretty oppressive, or it has been pretty oppressive in the cube, so my reasoning here was to take out a fairly good burn spell for a pretty awesome upside goblin. He can be a finisher too, he has Menace, so I thought he might be cool to look at. I'll see how it goes. So those were the changes I made in the last 2 weeks. I had some feedback from some players on the cube that drafted it a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago. We had a team draft, and some people were a little bit more vocal about others about what they wanted in it. I heard they only drafted about 270 cards out of the 420, so they, they didn't see about, what is it? They saw 3/5 of the cube, so there's a lot of stuff missing. I heard one of the guys told me that these two cards were just super bad. Nightbird's Clutches and Sound Departure. It's hard to, to just change up things in the cube when you've only had 1 or 2 draft experiences with it. This person had drafted it only once since I put these cards in the cube, so it's hard to say. I felt like Nightbird's Clutches was a way of bringing red creature-based decks to the forefront. Because it has flash, it's like a 2-for-1-ish. I think it's worth a card, but I haven't played with it yet, so I don't know. Silent Departure, I think I'm going to keep in there. It's one of my favorite cards, actually. It's not amazing, that's for sure, but it's a 2-for-1. It returns a creature to its owner's hand at sorcery speed for 1, and then you can flash it back for 4 and a blue. So to me, that Silent Departure has always been a very good card, especially in the blue decks where you're going to get to 5 mana. It's just inevitable in blue-based tempo decks. So anyways, I'll keep an eye on these cards. I'm open to suggestions. The person suggested I use Brute Strength, and I used to have it in the queue, but I took it out. I don't know why I took it out, but I like Nightbird's Clutches, sorry, and I'd like to try it before I make any decisions. Someone else said that they didn't see enough discard, and that could be possible. In black, I'm trying to think about what I have offhand that can make you discard. There's Putrid Imp that makes you discard. I'm trying to think offhand how many discard outlets I have in this. Deep Cavern Imp is another one. For creatures, I think that's probably it. I have some other stuff like Tortured Existence, which is like you discard creature cards at will, basically. I think that maybe. Oh no, Macabre Waltz is another discard outlet. Yeah. So maybe I'll try to make more. I mean, there's Gurmag Angler and Sultai Scavenger, so they require a lot of stuff in the graveyard. I was thinking about putting Corpse Churn in there from Oath of the Gatewatch, so that's something I'm going to keep my eye on. I've had my eye on that card since the spoiler of the set. That card really jumped out to me for the Power Popper Cube, so I'll have to see if it's something that's worth looking into. A suggestion was Sigiled Skink. That's a 1 in a red for a 2/1. I think it's from Born of the Gods or something, and it whenever it attacks, you scry 1. It's an interesting card. I don't think it's very strong, and it's in the 2-drop spot, so it's kind of hard because the 2-drop spot is pretty full with pretty good stuff. Like, is Mardu Scout better than that? I think a 3/1 for 2, even though it's kind of mana intensive, is better than a 2/1 for 2. Mog Flunkies are always attacking in red anyway, so they're just the 3/3 for 2, which is awesome. Mog War Marshal, not the greatest card, but it's kind of a 2-for-1. Played a GP, great card. Skirk Marauder is a removal card, so it's not really a 2-drop, it's more of a 3-drop, and that's all for the 2-drops. So it's kind of, sorry, I didn't look at this end of the 2-drops. Ashmouth Hound is fairly good against the token-based decks. I haven't played with it yet. I put it in fairly recently, so I don't know. That could be a card I could cut for Sigiled Skink. So I'll keep my eye on that. I don't want to make any changes right now as the cube sits. I want to try it out a couple of times, see what iterations, what decks come out of these changes. Alright, so that was it for the Power Popper. Rambros, as you remember, that's the multicolored list. Pardon me. in which I want to make the cube fully multicolored eventually, and I just keep on adding cycles and taking out colored monocolored cycles. So what I did was, for this most recent changes, I put in, what did I do? I put in one of the dragon cycles, because I had all 5 of them from Favor Forged. So the 5 dragons, I put those in. I put in 2 wedge cycles, so 10 cards. They're not complete. They're not complete cycles because I didn't have the complete cycles, but I put Dorn in there. They're not full cycles. Real cycles? Sorry, what I mean is they're sort of a constructed cycle. So, for example, Doran is not literally in the Kazatar Cure block, but I put it in as an Abzan card anyways. Fireman Angel. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. And I added another. What's Fireman Angel doing there? No. Oh, I don't know why that went in between there. I also added one card of each guild to extend the multicolored. And what I did was I just took out all these cards that I cut were just like pretty bad cards that just weren't interesting or weren't multicolored. So yeah, I added a guild, one of each guild. So Tristani, Daxos, Mirok, Vosk, whatever. And I added one of each of the temples. So I told you I wanted to extend the mana base, so I extended the mana base. I added all the temples. So that's it for the Rambros cube. The Nostalgia cube, quick. I cut out 30 cards, I think it is. About 30 cards, because I remember I said I wanted to reduce it to 360 to make it concise. I took out I took a Soul Ring, because it's too strong. And I took out a bunch of crap-ass cards. I took out some goblins, multicolored goblins, and some regular goblins stuff. Because I was just trying to push goblins, but it just wasn't... there just aren't enough goblins to make you go into it. So it was kind of a trap. So I cut a bunch of cards that either weren't very good or just weren't good compared to the other cards in the color. So that cube is, for the meantime, it is set. So it is a solid 360 cards. It's ready to draft. When I get a chance to test it, I will. And then if I need to make some changes, the only change I could see happening is that I need to extend the cube to more recent sets. Like I was saying that I was interested in maybe adding the Urza's cycle, the Mirage cycle, the Tempest cycle, or is that the Mirage cycle? Anyways, and yeah, until the cube is like a workable cube. Right now I think it is, possibly. There are still some shitty cards in here, but for the most part the cards are okay. So anyways, that was for that one. The Ravnica United Pauper cube, I was missing 2 cards, and I didn't have the time to go through all the freaking cards in Ravnica. So what I did was I added what did I do? Oh, I added Farsi because that wasn't in there, so that's possibly one of the cards that I was missing. I added Scatter the Seeds. And I took out Street Savvy for Beastmaster's Mage Mark. And I took out Beastmaster's Mage Mark for Phyto Burst. But I don't know if that's going to change. Phyto Burst is not a great card, so... anyways, like I said, these are not rotating, so if I ever see something that is out of place, I could change it up. But anyways, just an update on that. That's the final update on Ravnica United Pauper you'll probably ever get through these vlogs. Alright, the Big Cajone. Proxy Vintage cube. This is, like I told you guys, this is the cube where what I did was I started out with proxies. I went through my collection. I took out all the cards that I had of it. I put them in double sleeves, and I left the proxies that I didn't have of, and I'm going to be updating it every once in a while. So, I'm going to show you a picture of the acquisitions I've made in the last month. Actually, if you want to look here, I have these are the cards that I've acquired for the cube in the last 2.5, 3 months alone. So it's quite a bit. They're not all valuable cards, but these are the cards that I've acquired in the last month and a half ish. So at the top row and to the left, we have a slew of 5 cards which I've paid. I've bought at FastFS. The sword was about 15% off, 20% off. The other ones I paid regular price. Some of them are world championship decks, so they were the proxy-ish Wizards proxy versions. The middle ones I got them for really dirt cheap with a bunch of other cards. I paid $6 a piece, but like with a bunch of other cards. So I think in total with these two buys, I got $30 something extra on top of that without paying $33 actually. The cards to the right, from the Eidolon to the Sulphur Falls, I bought them for store buying price because a friend of mine is trying to get rid of his collection, and I said, well, I'm going to buy a bunch of the stuff for the cube because I can't afford Magic. I can't afford buying the stuff at regular price. So the bottom 2 rows are trades that I've done with friends. So the one at the left with 5 is a trade I did a couple weeks ago. The 2 of them there with the Firecraft and the Jamoka's Command, I made the trade 2 days ago. And the middle row are all cards that I got off of Pucatrade. Now that's pretty awesome, right? Like Mox Diamond. I've heard people saying that trade has slowed down on Pucatrade and people aren't trading, but honestly, like all these cards I've gotten off of Pucatrade. So my first trade recently, because I used to use Pucatrade and I stopped, and now recently because of the cube I wanted to get back into it. I've acquired all these cards through trading my cards online, sending them off, and people trading cards that I need. So these are all great cards. These are all cards that are very, pretty expensive. Some of them are on the reserve list. So people are trading on Pucatrade. I had one issue about Ulamog. At the top, I don't know if you can see it at the top of Ulamog here. There's a little white dent, and the guy told me, okay, well, since it's not perfect, I'll give you a discount of 20%. He sent me 20% back, about $6 Canadian roughly, and that was it. It was great. No complaints. I just received the Raphaelos and the Wheel of Fortune in the mail today. I'm getting an Emrakul that's coming, an Emrakul in Natural Order, and 2 other cards are coming in the mail right now. So I really can't complain about Pucatrade. It's been an awesome experience. I don't know if I have, I have my thing right here. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to be receiving in the mail right now is an Emrakul, a bunch of Vivid lands because I don't have them, a bunch of temples. I ordered them just to fill out the rest of my my. Hey, sorry about that. My computer just stopped on me. So yeah. So what was I saying? Pucatrade has been really, really great for me. I don't know if in another video I'd maybe like do a full review of it, but like, so right here I have like Puca points, but it keeps on going up and down. Like I send out stuff, I get tons of Puca points, and people are just sending me stuff all the time, If we go to my trade history, let's see if it loads. These are some cards that I've sent out. Computer's being stupid. Yeah, so these are cards that I've received in the mail, and like, Swords, Sword, Temptation, Blightsteel, Colossus, a bunch of lands that I wanted, the Tri-lands, some temples, some reserved cards. So yeah, I feel like Pucatrade has been good to me. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have had bad experiences with it, but my experience so far has been really positive. And that's it. So those are the changes I've made to the cube. I'm for sure going to make another vlog when Shadows over Innistrad come out. And until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this and have some fun playing some Magic. See you next time.